Hey everybody, how's it going? I wanted to discuss nutrition and easy ways to do improving your health. You get told all the time being healthy or getting healthy, it's just so expensive. So I wanted to give you guys some easy steps of things that you can do that are next to no cost themselves. So first and foremost, I want to kind of go through some habits, and then I also want to go through actual nutrition things that you can do. So habits. Prioritize bedtime routine. Make yourself a routine that helps you get into sleep and have good quality sleep and wake up. Make a routine when you go to bed and when you wake up, and hold that routine all the time. There are times I get that that's not possible. And those of you with children, this is amazing because you're teaching them a healthy habit as well, because them creating their own habits will last for a lifetime. I was horrible with that with my kids, and for myself, I'm getting much, much better at it now than I was. Next thing is light. When you get up in the morning, get out, get bright light in your eyes, go outside, do some earthing, touch the ground. I know that's a very hard thing in winter. So if you're somewhere where it's not good all the time, there are alternatives of things that you can do. Magnesium baths, very cheap to do. 20 minutes, hot water. Don't do too hot, just as hot as you can handle it, and make sure you're sipping on something like a tea or water, spring water specifically. So light, get out, get the sunlight in your eyes, grounding, magnesium baths is part of that. Light, if you can't do, you can buy little lights online, or even find a good quality just light that gives you that bright light and put it and surround yourself with bright light first thing in the morning, even if you can't get out and get into the sunlight. It's very hard on us to get that circadian rhythm that impacts our sleep, impacts our cortisols, adenosine, all that throughout the day and how that's put out. So if you can get good light, and then at nighttime, use your features on your phones. They have a dark mode. Your computers will have a dark mode. A lot of times your TVs will have a dark mode. My husband just recently, we were watching a movie and it went to kind of an orangey, and he's like, "What is wrong with our TV?" And I was like, "Oh, that's dark mode. It's turning off the blue light, so it's not going to impact our sleeps." So that's a good thing. Do that on all your gadgets, on your phones. Set it. You can set it for a time to turn off at night and when to come back on in the morning. You can even benefit yourself by inhibiting your phone from functioning after a certain time. If you're someone like me, I love all my patients. I love helping people, but I have to shut my phone off to quit coming in with text messages and all that stuff. I do that at 8:30. And so I will, if I know that there's an emergency, I'll check in on my phone, but I turn that off so I can help get myself. I also will shut down lights around my house. So I will go and turn all things on. We have lights that can dim in our bedroom, so I'll turn them way down. My husband's constantly turning lights on. I'm like, "Why are you turning lights on? It's time to get ready for bed." But he likes to have light on everywhere. So I just go around and start shutting off lights around the house. I find the light that's going to be the weakest. Even in your kids' bedrooms, if they love those lights that go around the room, you can do the orange or the red at nighttime to help limit the blue that they're going to be getting in. And that kind of can help set a mood, but also fun for them as well. Okay, so looking around and reducing your environmental toxins. We spend so much on fragrance stuff to cover things or to make sure. Start using boiling water with cinnamon and orange and citrus and things in it for smells. Use essential oils. Find things that don't have a bunch of toxicity to them. If you need help finding something, go to EWG Healthy Living app or get on your computer and look it up and look for alternatives of what you can do to do fragrances. Also reduce that toxicity on your body. I bathe now in apple cider vinegar. I know people may think that's gross, but it's reducing what I'm getting on me and it's acidifying my skin. And it's also going to help me keep my skin in a useful area because I'm keeping the good oils on it. I'm keeping good bacteria on it. It's resisting things in my environment. It's acidity on the skin helps with wrinkles and things like that, believe it or not. You don't want alkalinity, you want acidity on the skin and the good bacteria itself. So you can do that on your body and in your natural environment. Just pick one thing. I'm also trying to change like my pots and pans. So I'm doing stainless steel, cast iron, and porcelain to cookware and dishes and getting rid of as much plastic as I possibly can. So those are things just you can do in your environment. Cheap, no cost movement. Get out and move. Find a way to move in a way that you enjoy. So everybody thinks they got to go kill themselves off at the gym to get into good shape. And really, it's more about mental, emotional support, moving 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. It doesn't have to be blasting your body. You want to move your body. Even if that's sitting at home and doing stretching exercises. As you age, stretching is like the gold thing that's out there to keep you flexible. It's keeping you from being injured. It's keeping you from not being able to put your hands above your head. It's keeping you from your knees seizing up on you. Flexibility, there's all sorts of free programs you can go out and find on mobility and stretching. And there's, if you're on Instagram, there's like the Move You guys. There's the Wealth. Is it Wealth? I think. And there's the Knees Over Toes guy. My stepson follows him. They all put out good information that's just daily on their things that show you how to move and keep flexibility. He knows Knees Over Toes does a lot with just the knees themselves and keeping that flexibility there. But the Move You and the Wealth people, they are actually people who have been severely injured with like disc injuries and all that and have recovered from proper movement and strengthening muscles. So those are basically 5 things. Wait, did I do 5? Meditating. Take a chance for your mental, emotional health. Set up your day. Sit somewhere, do some breathing, calm yourself in the morning, and envision what you want to accomplish that day. If you can't meditate, if nothing else, do that. Just sit there, know what you got to accomplish, and envision how you want that all come out. And you'd be amazed sometimes how you can direct your day into just this perfect flow. And I know not always we have time, but meditating, sitting down to learn, take that time to reward and build into yourself. That is important. Okay, now let's switch gears and I want to talk about nutritional things that you can do. 1, find out how much protein that you need specifically for you and get yourself the right amount of proteins in your diet daily. Some of you is going to take some time to build up. Oftentimes, most of us are not getting whole food proteins that are a complete complex. We're getting partial. We're getting a lot of plant-based foods that are just partial proteins. We need that complete amino acid so that our body can rebuild and regenerate. And if you have a hard time with protein, you need to go and take a survey. And let me help you boost your acidity to make sure you're digesting your proteins. Proteins are so essential. Those amino acids are what keep us vibrant, young, rebuilding, and supporting. So we need to be able to make sure you have those proteins. There are plant-based foods, hemp, soy, which I don't necessarily recommend because you can't get great quality of soy in the US, but hemp, quinoa, buckwheat, bone broth, any kind of actual good pasture-raised meats, chicken. Fish is going to be more fatty, but still there are some protein factors there to that too. So making sure you're getting those in every day if you want to stay in good health and you don't want to gain an excess of weight. Make sure you're getting the right amount of proteins. 0.8 per kilogram, which is like half a pound basically. So like if you take your body weight and cut it in half and you do 0.8 to 1, that's how much you at minimum should be getting a day. Most of us are not getting in that amount. We get a lot of carbs, a lot of sugars, and a lot of those things. So also track your food. Just tracking your food to see where you sit with your macronutrients, the calories you're taking in, that education of just knowing is huge in how you can direct where you're going. Oftentimes we think something's happening and it is totally not happening. We are not anywhere close to where we think we are. We tell ourselves, and my husband, I'm speaking a lot about him, but he's infamous of saying, oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I'm doing that. And every time I challenge him, track, show me the evidence, show me the amount of sugar you're having a day, show me how much protein. He's always like, okay, maybe I'm not getting enough. And most people, when they are going in, they're starting to track. They're not getting everything that they think they are. So it gives you a lot of education about what you're actually getting in. I did that with bodybuilding, and it was like a light bulb of like, oh, wow, this is what I'm getting in a day. I thought that food had high amounts of protein, and it doesn't have any protein really in it. But also making sure you're getting whole food. Do not go and fill your diet full of a bunch of protein shakes. You want to throw a protein shake in a day? Fine. But do not just go and just do a bunch of protein shakes. That can really hurt the kidney factor. So, fermented foods. Nobody likes them. However, the amount that they do, especially for people with autoimmune issues, is huge. It does not cost very much. It costs what? At max, highest quality, bigger bottle, maybe $10 for apple cider vinegar. Bragg's, which Bragg's is supposedly moving brands, but if you're getting organic with the mother and you're doing just a couple of tablespoons every day, diluted down with some water, the amount that you can do of getting in probiotics, acidifying your body, supporting good health. Realize if you have a horrible gut, you may need to start with even less than that because you're changing the environment in your intestinal, and that can have a flushing effect. So if you're noticing die-off or pain, slow down, pull back a little bit. But fermented foods, there's so many different kinds. Kombuchas, you have to be careful. They're organic and how much sugar they have in them. And if you have a lot of issues with being overstrung, maybe kombuchas are not. But there's also the poppies that are out there. But again, they will have like the little sodas. Those are generically like the kombuchas, but they're like seltzers and different things closer to a soda type of way. But if you're used to soda, they don't necessarily taste like soda. But if you're someone who likes kombuchas, those are something you can do. It is an acquired taste. And that is part of the problem is that we've changed our bacteria to only be loving really intense tasting sugary foods. So when we're doing healthy things, our body's like, ugh, disgusting. Anyway, so kombucha, organic Greek yogurt. You do not want over pasteurized dairy factors. Kefir. All these things I would recommend organic. Refrigerated pickles will be in the fermented. Again, I recommend you do organic. What else? Black garlic, fermented. Any of your fermented foods, you want it organic. The ones I do, I make myself from organic garlic cloves and I ferment them here in glass. There, I do have on my website, you can go in and you can scroll down and there's things to add to your cart. And if you click on that title, it will take you to my list into Amazon and you can see some of the things there. I have like the poppy drinks and the other different fermented drinks. I have black garlic, even have black garlic. Dr. McCullough does one in a capsule. It's a decent one there of the black garlic. If you refuse to do it, that may be a better way to do it, that you don't have to taste it. However, I will tell you there is a difference when you're doing actual food and something that's been broken down and put into a capsule. So add in a dose to 2 doses of fermented foods every day to boost your digestion. If you can fix digestion, you are going to save yourself from so many health factors that are going wrong. Because the majority of the people who are having autoimmune or health issues is because they're not actually absorbing and getting in any foods. And then maybe not even actually getting in their diet any quality foods. So, let's see. Protein intake, water. Do not get distilled water. Distilled water has its place, but I would recommend you're always getting a good quality spring water when you're drinking. Most of our tap waters suck. So if you can get like a Brita to filter your water through, or you can get reverse osmosis is the best. That is expensive, however, but it's fairly cheap to go and buy the Brita filters and replace them. So even just starting there, but realize too that when you're getting in your bathtubs, and I have noticed when you're getting in your bathtubs, you're filling it full of the water and then you're bathing in it. So putting the Epsom salt and doing the apple cider vinegar and stuff on your body helps to take the toxins off. But your skin's like a big sponge. But they are starting to come out with the little filters that you can put like in the shower heads. I don't know if they are for I would assume they probably have some too for your, like if you go to Home Depot and stuff and you go over to filters, they have like little filters now that you can insert into your taps and stuff like that to filter the water as it's coming out. So like for your shower heads and stuff like that. So filtering your water, getting a little filter, getting quality spring water. If you don't want to do a filter, then go buy some spring water that you can just have. Quality of food. This is something, if you just start paying attention, most of the things that I do, some of it can be pretty expensive. However, some of it is not. It's within $1 of difference, and it's going to be a massive difference on your health. If you can find things in glass rather than plastic, go for it. If you can find things that are fermented and organic, it does matter, especially with your plant-based foods. Meats, animal-based foods, you want it to be pasture raised in the natural environment, because they're eating what's natural to them. You're less likely to get the chemicals and everything else from something that's being fed a feed. The feeds are not always necessarily great, and they can have chemicals and all sorts of things into it. So something raised in the natural environment, chickens, pasture raised, cows, pasture raised, animals, pasture raised in their natural environment, fish, wild caught. We do not want farm fed. They're being fed things like soy and corn, and all these things are negative. Getting what you're putting into yourself changed up and into something quality means the after effect that you need to support with supplements and other things is going to be less. It just is. So if you put the effort in prior to, it may cost you a little bit more here and there. But these are all things that are simple. Sometimes believe it or not, I've gone into the store to buy things like spaghetti sauce, which I do not do anymore. I make most of my things from scratch, and that's the way you can change your quality of food. And it is not that timely. So like with my spaghetti sauce, and most of those packets of things are added a bunch of excess sugar. Even when they recommend to make them yourselves, they're adding in a bunch of sugar. I make them up myself and take out the sugar or reduce it down. So everybody's not getting an abundance of overload. And my kids are picky, especially one of my kids. And most of the time they don't notice. So I make my seasoning of spaghetti mix from organic herbs, and I compile it all into a glass jar, and I set it there. So it's already pre-made. I'm going to make it once. So if I just double up, I think did 4 or 5 times of it, and just put it in a container in a glass jar in my pantry, and now it's just always there and made. So the things that I use all the time, I just stock up on the things that I need to make it. Spaghetti sauce, by the time you cook the noodles, you can let the spaghetti sauce simmer and it'll be done. But I'm using organic tomatoes. I'm using my own sauce. I'm using olive oil that I know hasn't gone rancid. I'm using all the ingredients that I know that's going to make a big difference. Nobody's going to really taste the difference. But how your body's going to be able to deal with it and get it in, digest it, and do what it needs with it is going to be night and day. And that's the thing I think most people don't understand. Quality matters, and you may not feel the instant of that, but instead of being overwhelmed with sugar and having a fatty liver because of it, you're not going to have that. Your body's going to be able to process it and use the goodness of that to help you instead of weighing you down. When you're eating junk food, you're getting an overly processed chocolates or whatever the case may be, which may taste really good, but because of all the synthetic and all the things to preserve it, you're not really digesting that. So that moment that was like this long, that lasted, that made you feel good, is now sticking with you till next year at this time, because your liver is trying to process those things through. So by changing and using things, so like even with I make Christmas candy and I give it out, and I use all quality ingredients. Going away from high fructose corn syrup to agave, my body can get in and use that sugar and use it now and not keep it till next year when I'm making the candy again. High fructose corn syrup has to go through your liver 4 times to get digested and do something with it. When you're using synthetic and you're using these overly processed, or you're using like canola oil and these margarines that are all this wax and stuff, the toxic load that it puts on your body, and the toxins get pushed into your fat cells and hold on. And that is a huge part of why people hold on to weight. They get pushed into there. They're causing inflammation all the time. And you're going to feel that months after you've eaten whatever you've eaten, rather than just feeling it at the time. So you're prolonging this toxicity for a lifetime. And eating out. How many times do people go out and eat fries? I know a lot of people that do it like once, twice a day. That crap stays with you like 6 months before your body can really process it. You're doing that to yourself twice every day. No wonder your health is crap. No wonder you're struggling with hormone function, inflammation, pain everywhere. These are the things that matter. If you could stay at home, cook your own fries, or make them the night before and take them with you, they're still going to taste good. You can season it, you can flare it up, and it's not that hard. There's seasonings you can create and store to sprinkle on to your fries to make them taste amazing. You can do the natural oils of olive oil or whatever the case may be and not have this amazing, overwhelming toxicity. So you're allowed to still eat those foods, but yet not overwhelm your system. And the most people, it's because you've done this for so long in such an abundance that it is just weighing you down. So quality of food can be merely making it. This is why I recommend people, you want your breads, you want your candies, you want your cookies, take the weekend and make those kind of things for yourselves. They're not going to be oxidized, made from quality, lacking a lot of the chemicals because you made them from quality ingredients. You're teaching yourself a skill. You're teaching your kids a skill. There's just so much good to come from it. So those are the 5 things with nutrition. Fermented foods. Pay attention to quality foods. Make things from home. Spring water. Drink it or find a way to filter your own water so that you're removing the toxicity. I feel like there's more that I get your digestion flowing. So things that you can add in, and then what you're cooking your foods in, toxins in your environment, remove those. Take time to meditate and form your day in the way you want it. Bed routine, light routine, remove lights that are negatively impacting you, set up routines for yourself. These are all things that don't necessarily cost you anything. It just is your time and your effort, and they pay off because you bounce back, you're more productive, you're getting better sleep, your body is not holding excess fats, we're not storing excess toxins, our digestion's flowing well, our mental health's feeling better. These are, and all from just simple, easy changes that you can make. So I hope this is helpful. If you guys need some support with digestion and how to shift digestion to make sure you're getting in these things and helping yourself, there's another free thing you can do. You can go to my website, take the health survey. You just have to scroll down a little bit and it says health survey right there. It's a little green tab. You go to that, take it, answer the questions. I will send you an email with recommendations of supplements and ways food-wise that you can support yourself and explaining what I'm seeing, what's going on. So it's another free option, supporting your health. And you are worth it to invest in your health. I'm not saying that we shouldn't spend money because the money I invest into myself pays off. I have a long list of family genes and crap that I'm trying to avoid in my life because I watched negatives with other family members and I don't want that. So I invest in my health and I know it's beneficial because I do not want to live the way I've seen others have to live and do things. So put the effort in, money, and putting an investment into your health. You guys go and you're willing to spend it on all sorts of things that are not necessarily going to last for a long time, but it's a struggle to invest in your health, but it's worth it. You're worth it. Your quality of life is worth it. Your kids and setting that example is worth it. So these are some free tips of things that you can do easily that are free to you. So I hope this is helpful. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you all later.